If, like me, your preferred method of lubrication is the salty, salty tears of liberals, you'll have pulled yourself over the horizon this week as Elon Musk bought Twitter and liberal lefties on Twitter cried like Amber Heard when she thinks the camera is on her. Let's see why they're crying. Jamila Jamil flounced off because Twitter will become a cesspit of lawless hate and bigotry apparently. No, Jamila, please don't go. Oh, if all the lefties go, who'll be left to call me a misogynist, transphobic, heteronormative, ableist, cisgender racist? The Verge ran an article showing their readers how to deactivate their Twitter account. They posted this on Twitter using their Twitter account, which is still active. Philip Schofield has quit because he thinks Twitter will become a cesspit. The break will give him more time to spend with his wife and his boyfriend. Black Lives Matter activist Sean King said that the Twitter takeover is about white power, and then said that Musk was raised by a white nationalist. Which Sean would know about himself is his parents are white. Literally, his parents listed on his birth certificate are white people, making him the Talcum X of black activism. He says his biological father is black though. My own biological father is actually Denzel Washington. He then left Twitter, which was the silencing of black voices apparently, but he left of his own accord. He wasn't silenced, and then he came back with more followers because of all the attention he got for quitting. So much for being silenced. Speaking of people who make dubious claims about their ethnicity, Elizabeth Warren, the Democrat senator who claimed to be Native American because she had one Native American ancestor 10 generations ago, making her 1 in 1,024th Native American. My own biological father is actually the Native American Dances with People. He had me when he was a young man. She said this deal is dangerous for our democracy. Billionaires like Elon Musk play by a different set of rules than everyone else, accumulating power for their own gain. We need a wealth tax and strong rules to hold big tech accountable. Where were these demands when Twitter was helping Joe Biden get elected? And the White House said that they're very concerned about the power of large social media platforms.
The president has long been concerned about the power of large social media platforms, the power they have over our everyday lives, has long argued that tech platforms must be held accountable for the harms they cause. He has been a strong supporter of fundamental reforms to achieve that goal, including reforms to Section 230, enacting antitrust reforms, requiring more transparency.
Where was this concern about transparency and bias up until now? Twitter, like all of tech, is hugely systemically biased against the right wing. You can see this clearly in the breakdown of political donations by Twitter employees, 98.7% of which went to Democrat candidates. I demand equity for right-wing people.
You own all of Twitter or Facebook or what have you. You don't have to explain yourself. You don't even have to be transparent. You could secretly ban one party's candidate or all of its candidates, all of its nominees, or you could just secretly turn down the reach of their stuff and turn up the reach of something else, and the rest of us might not even find out about it till after the election.
Yes, that's exactly what's been happening. Politicians such as Trump get removed. The algorithm secretly suppresses right-wing posts. Valid, politically important stories such as Hunter Biden's laptop get secretly flagged as false and banned, and we don't even find out until after the election. When people talk about elections in the West being stolen, they're not talking about the mass voter fraud or ballot stuffing that happens in backwards dictatorships such as Russia. They mean the collusion between the Democrats and systemically woke tech and media to misrepresent the truth and hand the election to Joe Biden or other left-wing woke candidates. Everything Musk talks about would end secret bias and nefarious bannings. He'll make the algorithm open source, he'll verify everyone and remove bots. There'll be no secret political influence, moderation won't be arbitrary and capricious, and the system won't be a black box that nobody trusts. It'll be transparent, so any bias will be visible and we can deal with it. But people aren't just worried about political bias, they're worried about free speech allowing hate. Divisive race-baiting headlines say that Elon Musk's Twitter is a scary place for black people. Well, he hasn't bought it yet, so if it's a scary place for black people, it's not Elon Musk's fault. And are black people clutching their handbag a little tighter when they see Twitter coming towards them in the street? That's actually racist against Twitter. The ACLU raised concerns about hate speech despite accepting a $500,000 donation from Elon Musk, who's an ACLU member. Elon Musk's Twitter will suck for women too, apparently. That's suck for women, not suck for women. That's on OnlyFans. Lefties, please relax. There are already laws against hate speech, harassment, and incitement, etc. And the proposed changes will make people behave better and reduce the anonymous road rage tweeting and harassment. Lots of people criticised Elon for using his money to buy Twitter instead of using it to end world hunger or some other social ill. But don't worry, lefties, that money, that $44 billion still exists. Elon's just given it to other people. So if it's so important, they can use it to end world hunger. And people are worried about a billionaire having so much influence. But billionaires own pretty much all of the media. Jeff Bezos bought the Washington Post, John Henry bought the Boston Globe, Sheldon Adelson bought the Las Vegas Journal, Laurene Powell Jobs bought the Atlantic, Patrick Soon-Shiong bought the LA Times, Mark Benioff bought Time, even the supposedly independent Guardian is funded by Bill Gates, and the people who own social media companies like Mark Zuckerberg are billionaires with political agendas. The problem seems to be that Elon Musk has the wrong political agenda by not really having a political agenda. He's a centrist who donates to both the Republican and the Democratic parties instead of just slavishly following the woke leftist agenda. This balance is a threat to the woke establishment. Anyway, woke lefty liberals, here's how you get even at evil Elon. Reject Tesla, don't get an electric car, get a V8 truck, make sure you do loads of donuts in it. Reject Elon Musk's solar power company, use coal to generate your power. And reject Twitter, use Getter, Parler, or Trump's Truth Social for your social network. Please like, share and subscribe, and if you want to support me making these videos, you can become a Patreon. You get early access to these videos, you get Patreon only content such as stand-up shows and a Patreon only podcast I do with a criminal barrister that's fun and interesting. So thanks, have a great week, and cheers, I've been Leo, bye bye, bye bye.